Hello, everyone. It is 5 o'clock, so I think we can start getting things started. Thank you all for coming. So I guess just to start us off, I'd just like to say a few words. Thank you all so much for taking the time to come to tonight's event. This publication is a pretty momentous occasion for everyone who has worked so hard to create everything that makes volume 140 of Prism what it is. I would especially like to offer a huge thanks to Prism's intrepid, hardworking, and delightful assistant editor, Lauren, the creative and technological mastermind behind the Prism's graphic design this year, Jay, the phenomenally insightful, dedicated, and downright fun volunteer team, and finally, the talented, passionate, and brave artists who shared their hearts and minds to make this magazine a reality. The artists are truly what constitute Prism, and we thank you all so much for everything that you do. And Lauren, would you like to say anything before we move on to the speakers?
For sure. So I'm Lauren Miller. I'm the assistant editor of Prism, and so working on this journal was an amazing experience, unlike any other. I will probably not be able to experience something like this in any means or any time soon. I would like to thank Ardea for everything she's done this term. She's an amazing editor and been there time and time again. She has guaranteed that my experience as assistant editor has been amazing, and it would be drastically different without her. I'd like to thank Jay, who has been a wonderful graphic designer, for all of the hours and effort she has put into this year's journal. There's never a dull moment in between us three. And then last but not least, I would like to thank the volunteer committee who time and time again, who have shown up and made Prism what it is today. There's no doubt in my mind that Prism would not be able to run without them. And thank you to each and every supporter and contributor who has been with us. Thank you for our first annual launch party for Prism.
Hello, my name is Robin Weis, and I'm here to talk about my ink work reconstruction. So this piece is largely about rebirth, and in it I address my own battle with my body and society during my transition from female to male. Specifically, the form is an abstraction of my top surgery surgical binder, pierced by my easel. This is a deeply symbolic relationship already. However, in this work, I sought to engage the explosions of emotional triumph and injury through Rorschach-inspired geysers of form. These forms take the shape of my changing body, explosive moods, and pierce the abstraction of my torso. This relationship is rendered in bold black ink to contrast the abrasiveness of the white canvas itself. I definitely had a really fun time making this piece, and I think that it was a deeply cathartic process. And I am actually really excited to have it appear in Prism. It's a very nice welcome to the Oregon State University art community to be able to see my work represented in something as amazing as Prism.
What I Am Not by Isabella Johnson. I am fallen leaves trodden underfoot. I am stars too dim to shine through even the darkest night. I am untouched leftovers allowed to rot. I am a childhood toy now long forgot. I am the final coals on a dying fire. I am an evergreen tree on the first of the new year. I am worn out sneakers tossed away. I am unfulfilled dreams, unforgiven pain, kisses held back. I am all that is old, left for that which is new. I am a box of dried up pens. I am a half-knitted cap. I am an unfinished painting of a once lover's face. I am an unanswered prayer in the perishing night. I am forgotten birthday wishes. I am love unrequited. I am a path that no one dares to tread. There is so much that I am, but one thing I shall never be. Enough. Mothers by Isabella Johnson. Persephone. Let my heart be swept away, pomegranate stains rather than blood, river water clear as the desert sunrise. wine that nods my head. For the barren lands below the earth I shall be the sun. Laurel and lilac sprout from my steps, pear and grape swell and sweeten, moss and shrub their green deepen. I am spring in the house of the dead. Snow White. My hands are thick with the day's work. I wash them clean. Cottage door red and sunny, quiet wind blows hay from my roof. Autumn apples yellow and sunny, cinnamon, flour, butter, and honey, 7 little pies plus 1 I shall make. In the coals of the fire bake. Daisy and pink currant I pluck. For our table dinner I set as well as I am able. My pies are cooling, dusted with sugar. No evil shall find me, no witch's curse smite me. Here in my fortress, a home. The Lady of the Lake. Iron crafter, king maker, gift of the sword, kneel and be anointed by my steel and dark waters. For I am crowned in living reeds and drinking lilies. But you, O king, shall die only once. To stand firm in battle is strong. To stand against the evils of the heart is stronger. To speak words like fine silver is mighty. To listen in the gold of silence is mightier still. To know you may kill is power. To know you cannot give life is your burden. I anoint you a king. Yet even the weeds of the field shall live 1,000 times, and you only once. Red Riding Hood. Needles snap underfoot, blades of pine and dripping sap. Darkness cloaks the wolves, and red cloaks me. I hunt no wolf, and he does not hunt me. We tread softly side by side, as the wind rains down song of earth and pine. Stone and cave shall our dwelling be, the nightly stars are firelight, and blackberry thorns are wine. Sing a song of broken howls to me in a cradle of red and pine. Freya. Let all gold be damned, that cold metal, that sterile rock. Let gold be damned, lest it be the locks of my hair. May they never gray. Lest it be my honeyed wheat that feeds all the world, and from the grains of barley drink to Lord and Master. Let all gold be damned, lest it grace the tombs of gods and brave men. May their glory rise again. Let all the gold of men be damned, lest it be the Valhalla sunrise. May its glory never fade.
Yeah, so my name's Lisa. I am a contributor to this year's journal and also on the volunteer committee. It's been a great experience this year. It's been really nice to stay connected during spring term with everything being so up in the air otherwise. So the piece I'm reading today is called For Willa. It's in the journal that we're celebrating today. So yeah, I'll just get into it. When I look up into the night sky and my chest expands, flooding with a sense of relief that I am part of the spinning with no effort on my part. Can you feel it through the years, smiling at our resemblance, whispering, I know. I have no desire to drift through outer space, to float on the sea. I don't trust anything so infinite. I let myself stop believing in heaven, and this world became sweeping again. If we get any measure of choice, let me be dissolved into something complete and entire. Into the sky, into the stillness when it snows, into the early morning light of June, fresh with possibility. Let me be dissolved into happiness. Let all these pieces I have kept, discarding nothing, held close, pondered, arranged into patchwork meaning, let them scatter from me and return back to the earth whole.
All right, thank you so much. All right, our next presenter is Leah Kahn.
Hi, everybody. My name's Leah. I'm a sophomore at Oregon State. And this poem I wrote the other day while walking through campus. There's some really beautiful trees all over campus. It's just gorgeous right now. So this is called, This Happened Once Before. This happened once before in the fall. Nature appeared to me in all her glory and asked nothing. Only my eyes to behold her handiwork. Here I stood in spring and watched the petals lilt around me like falling snow, and felt the sun low upon my face as giants of earth reached their arms toward the sky to kindly mark the path for me. The clock tolled, and part of me wanted to stay there forever. When I close my eyes, I am there still, watching the petals swirl and wondering what makes me worthy of such beauty. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. All right, our next presenter is Robin Schreiber.
Hello there, everyone. I want to thank Ardea for accepting my piece and having me in the publication. I'm a poet and artist who decided to get my major in business. So I appreciate being involved, right? Yeah, I appreciate being involved today. Thank you. I'm going to read an extremely long Odyssey epic ballad referencing Plato's cave and the post-apocalyptic world. It's called 10,000 Words for 10,000 Years, an ode to humans, written with feeling for the human condition. As humans we struggle, we miss the match. At last we huddle against the roads that crash. Against one another we stay true. What was it like, we wonder, to see the sky blue? Was it all puffy clouds, or was nothing ever new? Were there sounds? Were they like something we never knew? And so we try to replicate them as we tap our shoes, us humans do. The tapping of the shoes rings through the halls of the cave-like fortress where we hide in duress against walls. Now moaning ensues like the sounds of the wind. Straight from the gut, we humans sing about terror and sin, and we're stuffed in a barrel like sardines in a tin. Were there sounds? Were they like something we never knew? And so we try to replicate them as we tap our shoes, us humans do. Let us pray the storm will pass. Let us pray that the apocalypse won't last past another generation. We need to escape this barrel, this ellipse. Another generation won't stand for it. We'll have to peek our heads outside, but the last person to give it the slip never came back to give us a ride. And so I know that I'm not the only one who thinks of how to escape here inside. Was there light? Was there something new to see? And so we try to imagine them as we close our eyes to see what kind of humans we could be. The human struggle is all but might and worth, those two things we can toss aside in this sea of mirth. Each is watching the other, and for this we cannot blame. The deeds of one another inside this cave, they bear no shame. If only I could come again, but without shame, there is no flame. Was there light? Was there something new to see? And so we try to imagine them as we close our eyes to see, and what kind of humans we could be. Only light that came from the fire, yet there was no need to be near. We found could be imitated by phosphorus, it was clear. The fortress was lined with it from a long time ago, and we humans lie affected by it on the floors of the bordello. Like so many sheep in a pen, we lie about everywhere, like jello. Was there a smell of outside? Could we try to find it that way? Always searching for a breath of freshness as we went along the way. But all we know is the smell of decay. The tapping shoes mingle here and there with the moans, the coos, and the dirty underwear. Years and years of rags were used, made into tents and stuff. burned up or covered in blood. Some of the rags made it into the walls to stuff the holes that came from mud. And everywhere teemed humans like the crust of the earth, covered in crud. Was there a smell of outside? Could we try to find it that way? Always searching for a breath of freshness as we wend along the way. And all we know is the smell of decay. Yet still you will find an occasional human in need of a hug. Like so many ruins, time will never let us up. Will we always be in need of touch? Will we always be human? So soft yet so tough, will we find an opening and escape this den of lust? Perhaps we will find again the humans that left. Perhaps we will know the touch of something bereft of decay, of cleft. Searching, searching, one over the other, we trample each other blandly in the dark sea of cover. In this cave, so lacking in wonder, petroglyphs high above on jutting rocks reveal how far we've come, now that the water has all but dried. We are searching for a part of ourselves that has been eroded over time and lost. Perhaps we will find again the humans that left. Perhaps we will know the touch of something bereft of decay of cleft. And words mingle in the breath of passers-by. Someone is standing next to me. I did not notice until they said, "Hi, hi, have you seen a way out yet?" They mutter to me lightly as if there is one, as if we hadn't given up after the fall. Such a great shaking and the entrance was undone generations ago, yet we forget like there never was one. Were there beasts to taste, like the ones painted on the ceiling? I give myself up to the imagining. My tongue is flooding with feeling about how, if so, what a rock I'd be wheeling. Us humans, we hunger in a collective, we share what we find, which is subjective. Some days fat little rodents will lose their ways in the dark, only to be eaten, roasted over fire and spark. Sometimes an insect or worse can be found in the dark. Were there beasts to taste, like the ones painted on the ceiling? I give myself up to the imagining. My tongue is flooding with feeling about how, if so, what a rock I'd be wheeling. Someone's done it. They found us. No way. Calls in the deep give away what's happening. I hear their words ricochet. We found you, they call. I hear the others start to awaken. Sounds like they are amassing, standing up, suddenly shaken. They tie down, getting distant. From a dream I waken. Will we wish for escape, even generations from now? Will the feeling ever fade that we were once outside, and how we got in here, and how we became this crowd? Humanity is slipping, but ever seems to hold its grasp over me and the children trapped inside this mountain gap. Together in the nonsensity has lasted eternally, crass, and will remain burning forever in eternity. The end.
Thank you so much, Robin. All right, up next we have Robin Weis.
Everybody, I'm Robin. I want to say thank you to the staff, compilers, and editor of Prism. This is definitely something really wonderful and something I've looked forward to. And thank you. My poem today is Winter. Ice-flecked lover, skin cold as the bitter snow, kept under covers, there bruised flesh and brittle bone, fed the fire that found home and smoked thrones. Heart pumping iron, metallic taste, cotton clones. You are my desire, will to aspire. As fingers prodded cheeks like sunken stones, shifting below the rippling surface were the echoes of lost purpose. Oh, how your heart became my home. Tattered curtains, slight coverage of the fumbling curses sung on those nights, clinging to collapsed cages. Everything will be all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. All right, next we have Emmet Ritter.
Hello. Would it be appropriate to screen share?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
Let me make sure you're allowed.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you very much. This is my first time submitting a Prism and being published in anything ever. This is my second year doing graphic design, and I submitted some photos that I took from my introductory photography class. I wanted to screen share some of the photos I took for that project, which were taken on November 9th of 2019 at a DIY music show located at Suite Zero. The bands playing were CMOS, Flexing, and Boo the Band. I'm gonna try to screen share now. Okay. So I'm gonna start and then read a poem as I scroll through these images. Sound waves and static. Sweaters. It fills our ears and our heads and our hearts. Thump, thump, thump. My heart to your hand, marking time to music to mimic the sparks. Thank you. And the last thing I wanted to do is just talk a little bit about the DIY music scene in Corvallis, just because it was the subject of my photos. It was hosted by this awesome group called Bitter Half Bookings. If you are in a band, I really recommend getting in touch with them. They're run by my friends and coworkers, Caitlin Garretts and Indiana Laub, who are also in a lot of the bands. And they make a lot of these like flyers that you see like hanging around outside on the random totem poles and things. So it's kind of an ad for them. If you ever get the chance to go to one of these local music shows, I really recommend coming by. I mean, obviously not now, but for opening up, it would be a huge, like, it would just be really cool. I think that there's, it's just an awesome community, incredible people, and it was something I really wanted to like capture and publish, and I'm really glad I got to share with this community and the art department in general. So thank you.
Thank you, Emmett. All right, our next speaker is Ari Night.
I was just pulling up the photos so I could screen share. Yes, okay. Okay, so this first one, I called it Arctic Tern Screams into the Abyss. It was taken in Iceland this last summer. And what I didn't realize when I took this photo was that Arctic terns are apparently quite aggressive. And so while I focused on this one, the other ones had started to swarm above me. And I don't know why this one didn't fly away. And I don't know if I captured a yawn or a call or something else, but this is probably one of my all-time favorite photos. And then, can you see the other photo? Yes?
I think it's still on the Arctic tern.
Okay. Here we go. Good now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this photo is called Sun Voyager, and that's the name of the statue in the photo. It was also taken in Iceland, just about a couple blocks from the tern, actually. And it's a very popular spot in downtown Reykjavik, Iceland's capital city. So those are my two photos. I don't have any written works to share. Any questions?
All right, and if anyone does have questions for Ari, can feel free to unmute yourself or mention them in the chat. But if not, we can go on to our next speaker, Dane Zurwell.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name's Dane. So last October, I was very proud of my friends who were participating in Inktober, and watching them and seeing all their work that they were posting. and they also feeling inspired by them. The way that I interacted with art is through songwriting. So I invented probably not a very novel idea of Songtober. So during this month, I would try to record a lot more than usual, any kind of ideas that were coming into my mind to capture an idea or a moment. And I found that by the end of the month, I had a few songs that I had completed and added enough tracks to. And they were called Hot Chocolate because I had started making my own hot chocolate that month. I had a nice picnic. And then also When Summer Ends, a sentiment of like, well, we still feel the same way after all this time. So I got those two works submitted. Thank you very much to Ardea for your warm email correspondence. And yeah, I'm very thankful that we were all able to come together this evening for this launch party. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dane. That brings our launch party to the close. Thank you all again so much for coming and for supporting this artistic community. Thank you all for sharing, and thank you for this community.